Welcome back. Okay, let's click on discussion. Okay, so on this one, we have a whole bunch of settings around commenting or what happens when your blog posts or your articles, which is your blog posts, are sent. So on this one, the default article settings. This is what happens when you are saving your blog and you're actually publishing it. So do you want to notify any blogs linked from the article? If you link to somebody else's blog, wherever they are in some other website, you can actually notify that blog that you've linked to them. It really helps with that sort of communication around how much or where people's writings or references are being written to. So I really leave that default off. I mean, I don't link to too many other people's blogs, but maybe you do have a network of other people you're working with and you want to help increase the relevancy of other people's blogs from your blogs. The key thing, though, is to make sure that their blogs or other people that you're commenting with or blogging with, a lot of your subjects are very relevant to search engines, right? Because they need to see that everything is together, it's congruent, it's complementary. The other thing here is it's sort of in line with this, allow link notifications from other blogs. So this is allowing other blogs to allow you to see pingbacks and trackbacks on new articles. So what it does is it actually sends a notification. Basically, it's the way things are automatically notified that you can be able to track that, or they can be able to track that information as being relevant. So it's just a way of communicating back and forth or pinging back and forth basically around your blog or another person's blog, for instance, that those are being posted. Okay. And allow people to post comments on new articles. I like this, and I think it's a very good thing to have. Even on products, it's a good thing to have comments. Now, in WooCommerce, there's going to be a setting to be able to allow commenting on products, and we're going to make sure that we make a setting that you have to be a verified customer of that product, meaning you've purchased it before you can comment on it, because you just don't want any mojo to be able to go in there and just make some comments. And a lot of times what you're going to see is people make comments, spam comments, actually promoting their websites and things like that, or just complete spam. Who knows what people are doing with this stuff, but anyways, why they do what they do, but a lot of it can be nefarious. So I do allow them to do that, but we want comment author must fill out their name in the email, and users must be registered and logged in to comment. So we're going to check that off. It forces people to register with your website. You definitely want to have that. Otherwise, you're going to get tons of spam, and they come up under your comments section here, and you'll have to moderate a lot of comments. So make sure that you check that off. Users must be registered and logged in to comment. Automatically close comments on articles older than 14 days. This just basically self-moderates and allows commenting to close. I don't check that off because, hey, if there's an article and people continue to talk about it, why shut it off? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I'd rather do that manually on the article itself if I want to shut comments off. And you should be able to do that right on the actual article itself. Or at least to be able to come in here and check this off or increase the days later if you do want to have some sort of automatic comment closing. Okay, enable thread nested comments. This is how many levels deep people can comment. So if you're on Facebook as an example and somebody posts something and then you have a comment and then you have the ability to reply and somebody else's reply, I would rather follow that standard, which is 3 levels deep, which means somebody you can see a comment off a comment off a comment. Even 2 levels deep should be fine too. So somebody comments on the main one, and then you can have another one level deep below that. So 2 or 3 is probably fine. Break comments into pages. Yes, so you want to paginate. That's the word paginate, where you see a list of stuff, and then at the bottom you see 1, 2, 3, and that's pages. When you click on it, it refreshes, and then it goes to the next page of comments. That's probably a good thing to have. Otherwise, your page can be really, really long. I'd rather paginate that. So I'm just going to check that off. Okay, and 50. That's fine. Maybe even down to like 25, the top 25. And you want the yes, comments should be displayed with the older comments. I would say newer comments at the top, simply because they obviously you want to see the newer stuff at the top and the older stuff. If for whatever reason somebody starts commenting on maybe on a product, your product or your blog, and you might have changed or fixed something, you want to see the newer ones on top where there's some acknowledgments around that. Okay. Email me when anyone posts a comment. This is a good notification that you should moderate, but I would uncheck that, because you can come in here and moderate, and hey, what happens if 100 people all of a sudden are commenting on your blog post? I would just err on the side of caution on that, to just come in here and moderate those versus getting hundreds of emails in between everything else. I think that's just can be a little bit chattery, but that's up to you personally. Maybe at the start you want to have that checked, and as your website grows and grows in popularity, you might want to come back here and uncheck this, because you just don't want the chatter anymore in your email. A comment is held for moderation. Yes, check that off, guaranteed. You don't want comments to be automatically just posted. Again, that's up to you though. If you don't want to moderate comments, that's perfectly up to you. Somebody can put in there some weird stuff, and I'm sure there's plugins you can get that will moderate some stuff for you. Like for instance, if somebody says some bad words or whatever, what you don't want is a whole bunch of comments being spammed saying, we don't like this product, it's garbage, and don't buy it, and blah blah blah, and a whole bunch of those are going in there, and the person keeps repeating it. So there's some reason to have that in there. But if you feel you're comfortable just allowing people to be able to post, they've logged in, we've required that, and to be able to post a comment, fine. You can always go back in there and moderate it back out if you uncheck this and allow all comments to be posted automatically. Comment must be manually approved before a comment appears. I went on a diatribe about this, and it's under email me whenever. You know what? I would uncheck this. If a comment's being held for moderation, if you're unchecking this, anyone posts a comment, it's really the same thing. Every comment, if you're going to moderate them, then they're going to email. So you might get double email here. I would uncheck that. But if you do want to, then I would check both of them if you want to be emailed whenever. Comments must be manually approved. Okay, this is the one I was talking about automatically adding every time somebody wants to comment. It just adds automatically. So if you want to moderate every single comment, you would check that off as a precaution. Maybe at the start I would do that for sure. If you start getting super busy and people are complaining maybe that they're not seeing their comments up there, maybe you can uncheck that. Okay. And going down here, comment moderation. Actually, before we go back down here, I just wanted to go back on this one again. This really helps with moderating comments if you decide to manually approve comments. If you've already moderated a person's comment and it was cordial, you didn't have to delete it or unapprove it. This automatically allows you to approve a comment that person's done once, and then when they make new comments, you don't have to reapprove them. So they are basically like a trusted commenter at that point, and that's what that allows you to do. And then what you can do actually is, I'm going to open in a new tab, and I'm going to paste in this link here, the WordPress Codex. This is about commenting in WordPress. This is part of their documentation. So if you're really interested in this, you can also do that as well. Now, there are plugins that you can get that will allow you to add, say, instead of using WordPress's built-in comment thing, you can use, say, Facebook. So you can link either a Facebook page or account, the commenting features on that, to your WordPress. So look for that. I'm looking at possibly doing supplementary material on actually linking Facebook commenting to your to your WordPress page. And finally, this is a really good feature here around comment moderation, especially about approval. So instead of manually approval or anything like that, you can do auto flags for being held in moderation. So you can uncheck this and fill out this. So hold a comment in the queue if it contains, I would put one or more links. I see a lot of spam with one links. So, and it's just one link out to somebody else's site. So I'm going to click on that. So somebody will put their website page in there. I'd like to see if people are trying to grab, how about they're trying to grab my business? I'm trying to sell this fishing tackle or whatever it is, and somebody's going out in there, they saw my website and they're actually, no, buy from my website, and they put their fishing tackle website link in there. I think that's really underhanded, but people do it. And so you want to be able to catch that and moderate those out. Now here's a place where you might have fun, okay? Because this here is going to put any words or whatever in here that you want to be held in moderation queue if it sees it in the content of somebody's comments. So here is where you can put, for instance, if you want to immediately moderate out any comments that have swear words, as an example, you can type in swear words in here, maybe even particular IP addresses. In fact, you might have the ability, you might have a person who's constantly commenting. You're moderating them out, and maybe even you delete their account, their actual user account, because they continue to just be bad. You delete their account, so they go and they create another account and they start spamming again more comments and saying bad things. Well, you can actually block their IP address. You can block them from commenting, or at least throw them into moderation queue if you know their IP address. So to get the IP address, I'm just going to quickly show you how to do that, because I think it's pretty important, especially for troublesome commenters, and it does happen. So if you go up on the on your menu here on the left-hand side, just right-click on comments and open it in a new tab. That way we can just easily be back here next time. So I'm just going to go here. So you can see the comments here. This is just came in from the demo content, but it is an example. So here we don't have, this is just came in from a WordPress commenter, but this is an example of a comment that you would normally see. Okay, and you see this is the IP address just under it. It always has usually four digits and dots in between. That's what you're looking for. Okay, now by the way, while I'm in the comment section, I might as well show you how to do this. So these are already approved. You would have them as pending, approved, spam, or trash. You can label them as certain things as spam or trash or approve right down here. Let's say you like the comment, you can actually edit it if you want to just change something. Like for instance, the comment's amazing, but the person put a swear word in there. You can just click the edit button and just go down to it, and you can say, let's say if this was a swear word and you didn't want that on your thing, you can just do that. Okay, and then save it. And that will have moderated that comment if you want to bother doing that stuff. Otherwise, if it's just too much effort to go in there editing people's comments, just don't approve it, trash it, whatever. But anyway, so just going back to this, and as you do things, by the way, they will end up, like if you spam or trash them, they'll end up in the different folders. Okay, to permanently delete something, you would have to click on trash, and then while in trash, which it's not there, I can probably do that to this one. See how it ended up in trash? I'm gonna click on trash here real quick. Now I can delete it permanently. Okay, now if it's in trash, it's not showing up. You can leave it in trash, it's fine. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but yeah, anything in pending is waiting moderation. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this IP address here underneath this person's comment. Okay, right click, okay, and copy. Okay, so I'm just copying that and going to the discussions and I can paste this person's comment at this IP address and hit enter. Okay, now every time it sees a comment from somebody from that, it will automatically force it to go to a moderation queue, right? So if that person is doing more accounts and commenting, you can moderate those. And you can add words like, you don't want somebody to type in, say, my tackle store, right? So whenever it sees this together, it will moderate out that comment, right? Because you don't want somebody coming in there trying to advertise themselves. So that's an example of things that you can do in here to moderate. Now there might be here so again, swear words and any other URLs, specific URLs people are posting in there, you can do that. Now here's another thing. This is a blacklist, okay? This automatically puts comments into the trash, okay? Let's say a particular person's really being a harassing person, and you haven't put them on a watch list, but now you're like, you know what? Every time somebody from this IP address comments, I want you to automatically put those things in the trash, and I don't even want to see them anymore. You can put them in the blacklist, or you can put certain words like, I hate your product, or your, whatever. You can blacklist it, automatically trashes those comments. Don't even need to worry about it. Okay, and so just keep in mind, it's a new line for each word or phrase or whatever. It will partially match phrases, so just be careful too. Like here, it shows in here, if you put the word press in there, it will match WordPress. It doesn't matter about capitalization. Okay, and just scrolling down at the end here, avatars. This is the person's picture. Now, by default, WordPress uses the Gravatar logos and things as as their picture. There are plugins and things that you can get to change that. I'm not worried about it too much. The only other thing I would consider using would be something like Facebook, embedded in as comments and stuff like that. But I would just leave the mystery person one. I think that's perfectly fine for comments. Okay, maximum rating suitable for all audiences. Well, if you're running a store, probably have that, unless you have some stores that are doing stuff that is a little bit more outside of particular people's ages. Then obviously you can change the particular rating there. Okay, now going down, and we're gonna save the changes.